Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller is happening. Who's actually going to win this fight? Well, before we talk about who's going to win this fight, let's take a look at their latest performances in which Andy Ruiz fought Chris, in which Chris dropped Andy in round 2. Then rocked him in round 3.
Behind those fast hands. Oh, Ruiz is hurt again.
But then Andy Ruiz brought it back, outlanded Chris, and ended up taking it by decision.
Andy, the Destroyer.
Now this, Andy Ruiz went on to fight Luis Ortiz, in which Andy Ruiz dropped Luis Ortiz in round 2 twice.
There's a big left and a right. And there's a right hand.
And then dropped him again in round 7.
Ortiz being very close, and a right hand puts Ortiz down.
And obviously Andy Ruiz ended up taking it by decision.
The Destroyer, Andy.
Now let's take a look at Jarrell Miller's latest performances, in which he fought Lucas Brown, in which both went back and forth, both landed some great shots until Jarrell Miller dropped Lucas.
Miller looking to end the night of Lucas Brown, and Miller unloading down.
And then put more punishment on Lucas until the ref seen enough and stopped the fight in round 6.
Jarrell Miller looking to remain undefeated and finish off the former heavyweight champion.
After this, Jarrell Miller went on to fight Daniel Dubois, in which Daniel Dubois won every single round, took control of the whole entire fight, and TKO'd Jarrell Miller in round 10.
Now, since this is Andy Ruiz's comeback fight, it makes sense that it's against an opponent like Jarrell Miller. Don't get me wrong, Jarrell Miller stands pretty strong with a record of 26 wins, with 22 of those wins coming by knockout, only has 1 loss and 1 draw. But the reason I say that he's a reasonable opponent for Andy Ruiz, who's making his comeback, is simply because he hasn't fought the hardest or toughest opponents, which can explain his impressive record, on top of the fact that he's coming off a bad performance against Daniel Dubois. Now, when talking about how the fight's going to go, I think it's pretty simple to imagine how it's going to go, and it involves both men going back and forth and exchanging shots. And since they're both heavyweights, somebody will get knocked out. It really just depends on who lands the cleaner shots when they stand up close and they exchange shots. So it doesn't matter that Andy Ruiz hasn't fought since 2022, because again, if one of them land a clean shot, the other person will go down. But in the end, who I'm leaning towards when talking about who's going to win this fight is Andy Ruiz, and I think he knocks out Jarrell Miller. And the reason I say this is because I believe that this comeback fight is going to bring out the motivation in him that's needed to win this fight, so that way he could get back into rhythm and can start fighting the big dogs in the division once again.